Welcome folks to Let's Play Sword of Aragon. Now let's go on over what this game is and what it represents. Now Sword of Aragon is, as far as I understand, the first 4X game that has ever been made. It was made by SSI when they still knew how to make games. I don't know if it's SSI as in SSI the publisher or SSI the developers. You can read the names of the people. We're gonna go ahead and play this game. Everything is okay. We're playing on expert on the opponent and economic level. So new game. So we have a mix of Dungeons and Dragons, the first edition, and Total War. So all our units will have hit dices or hit points in this case. Um, Armor class, chance to hit or deal damage. It's a mix of the things. There are 5 classes as you can see. I've on my main channel I've played as a warrior, so we're gonna play as a priest. Now on the left to right we have a difficulty scale. Now the warrior is the easiest, as you will have the biggest army, the most safe regent with a lot of HPs and damage and armor. The knight is the supreme leader of damage. He does get discounts when hiring cavalry. The warrior gets discount with infantry. Ranger is a mixed. It's like sits in between a caster and a melee. He gets bonuses when hiring bowmen and mounted bowmen. The priest and the mage, they do not get any bonuses for units, but they do have their own advantages, such as the priest has regenerative abilities. The mage is simply mage. And let's just say, when you have armies on the ground and a mage start throwing fireballs, you're not gonna deal 6d6 damage. You're just gonna waste the entire battlefield. So that's a mage. The problem with a mage, he starts at think at level 2 and he has the littlest, the smallest army possible. We're gonna go with a priest because we're gonna follow the adventures of Corinne. Corinne is a priest level 3 with a chain, light and leather horse and a mace. Is this character okay? Yes, of course. As you can see, we have armor class of 2 in melee and 3 against missiles. The lower, the better. We have attack of 34 and a missile of 21%, 34% for hand-to-hand combat to deal 32 damage. We have 2 special bonuses and for hand-to-hand combat and 3 special bonuses for missile damage. As you can see, we have a region of 3 hit points, I think per turn. I think that's it. And a move of 26, morale boosting of 8 with a range of 3. This is our command ability. And this is the size, because in a stack you can only have up to 200 things each. Let's say 100 infantry units, 50 cav, all that stuff. Yes, this is okay. Do we want the standard units? No. So the story is your dad got murdered by the orcs during the last attack. So as the only heir to the throne, you take up the dukedom of Alada. Now your dad had a dream, which was to reunite the entire land of the entire Aragonian lands, and you will have to pick up the torch and complete that objective. But the first thing to do is to reestablish your defenses, because they've been decimated by the orcs. So we do not want the standard units. Now, as Corinne is alone, as you can see here, she doesn't have anything. The counselor tells us that we have that he has managed to round up some conscript. We have 100 people ready to be conscripted into the army. We also have 6,500 gold pieces. The people are in good shape, mostly, as you can see by the health. Morale. Loyalties is average because we just took up the throne. They don't know what we stand for and what we can do. So, the first thing our counselor tells us to do is to find a military advisors, because yes, Corinne is not a warrior. She's not a general. She was in the cloister because she was a girl of God. So we can hire a warrior In this case, we're gonna hire the general of the previous army of the Duke, of the late Duke. So we're gonna hire this guy. He's gonna be called Captain Keller. Okay, so with Captain Keller, we can now start to build our army. So Captain Keller suggests that we start by converting some of the conscript into some infantry, because infantry is the backbone of your army. In fact, he wants 30 men to be commissioned as infantry, and they're gonna be spearmen. We're gonna give them a chainmail, a small shield, and a sword. We're also gonna give them a spear. And because we gave them a small shield, we can actually equip some thrown javelins. Okay, thrown, it means thrown javelin. Like the good Roman Empire, except that the Roman Empire had bigger shields. So we're gonna pay the cost of equipping these guys. And the counselor just tells us that we need to make more infantry. In this case, we're gonna make 30 more infantry. Yes. And it's gonna be called the second, and these guys are gonna be the melee fighters. They're gonna be called second swordsman. We're gonna give them a chain, a large shield, a sword, no spear, and we're gonna give them some javelins. Yes. As always, if you know a little bit of warfare, the Roman Empire was big on using javelins, the pilum, before engaging into melee combat for maximum damage. I'm not going to go into the detail of the pilum. Basically, it had a lead ball before the tip of the spear to increase the power of the impact. So our general advised us to, at this point, get some bowmen, because bowmen are necessary to thin down the enemy number. So we're gonna get 30 bowmen. This is gonna be the third bowman. We're gonna give them leather. They just don't need that much protection. We're not gonna give them a shield. We're gonna give them a dagger for self-protection, and we're gonna give them a short bow. We could give them a crossbow for longer range and lower damage. We're gonna keep that. So we also need to make some infantry. We're gonna get 10 mounted infantry because our general says that the mounted infantry with cavalry could very well flank the opponents and finish off wounded enemies. So we're gonna start with 10 of them. This is gonna be the 4th cavalry, and I misspelled that. Whatever. We're gonna give them a chain. We're gonna give them a large shield, a sword, and of course we might want to give them a spear, maybe. No, we're gonna give them a javelin too, so they can throw that too. We're gonna give them a light horse and a leather. Yes. Okay, so we now need some people. Now, we need to hire some generals for these units and also for our own well-being. So there is the knight that used to run errands for the late Duke that might be just the right candidate to lead the unit of cavalry, while our general leads the unit of infantry. So let's hire a knight. This is going to be called Sir Cador. Sir Cador will gladly join you on your quest, Corinne. Aren't you happy? Good. So the counselor tells us that there is a ranger stationed in the city. He was supposed to deliver some news to the Duke about the state of the wild animals, but with the Duke dead, he's got nothing to do but go back to his hunter's lodge. So we're gonna hire him so he can take care of the bowmen. We're gonna call this guy. How can we call this guy? Actually, actually, this is not a guy, this is a girl, and I am going to call this girl. I had it yesterday and I forgot the name. Um, Well, let's just call her Samantha. Okay, now, while Corinne was doing all of this stuff, her sisterhood friend came to visit and she wanted to join on the adventure. And she's a priest and she's called Marlene. There you go. So Marlene is now part of the entourage. Obviously, the last thing we need is a mage. So the court mage and his apprentice showed up and they just want to offer their service in exchange of the keep being the court mages and stuff. So we're gonna hire a mage. This mage will be called, I don't know, how can we call this mage again? I had the name yesterday. The mage could be called Thorin, and his apprentice is called Bartholomew. No, not Bartholomew, Bartholomew. There you go. Good. With this being handled, we need to settle matters of the city. We have to develop some of our resources. As you can see now, we have no production and taxation because this is the first turn. But we need to develop for sure a little bit of structure and a little bit of commerce. We're not going to do much with agriculture and lumber right now because we don't have the money, mostly. Actually, we do have the money. We do. So let's increase the lumber production. Good. Now that this has been taken care of, we can get a little bit faster. We can begin the next month cycle. The monsters that killed your father and looted your realm have returned. Now is your chance to avenge his death and to prove yourself to the people of Alada. Hope your new army is worthy. Scouts report that there are about 400 orcs approaching from the northwest. So it's time for revenge. Now Corinne will be taking the back line. Captain Keller is gonna stand at the front with his spearmen and his swordsmen. We also have bowmen in the back, and we have the 4th Cavalry standing ready next to the spearmen, along with Sir Cador. Samantha the Ranger leads the bowmen, and Marlene joins Corinne. Thorin and Bartholomew will stay back. They are mages after all. Okay, so all of you guys, we will be expecting an attack from the orcs. So you will entrench to gain bonuses, because there are a lot of people here and they mean business. Okay, you guys. Marlene, how about you cast some light? And how about Corinne cast rally or vigor? Let's cast vigor. Okay, let's use the bowman and Samantha to land range attacks. Now we can try and attack this guy, but it's overlocked, so it's out of range. So we are gonna start dealing some damage on these guys. There you go, that's some damage. We cannot do much else, so we're gonna end the turn. We took some damage, but we killed these guys. Alright, so these guys, we lost quite a few troops there, understandably. So let's send the priest up to here, and you can, all of you, except for, okay, you guys, you need to entrench though. Okay, you will need to attack this unit. Yes, it's mixed type, but we're gonna do some range attacks successfully. On the other hand, you might want to attack this guy, deal some damage. Now I want the bowman and the ranger to attack this guy. The mages can keep on attacking and throwing spells at these guys. And what else have we got here? We got Captain Keller and the cavalry. They still have moves, so you can attack these guys. They're retreating. They're not attacking because they do not have the advantage. Good. So, Corinne, can you cast something? Cast Vigor, please. Unit has been in Vigor. Let's see. We have brought the orcs at 56, so they will declare the defeat soon. But that's not something I can accept. So, Samantha and the bowman, please keep on attacking these guys. And then attack these guys. Excellent. I think it's time for some more damage. Of course, I got the knight. So let's get these guys to throw their stuff at this guy. We have no more movement. Let's wait. The enemy offers to surrender, but we will not. We will show no quarters to the murderer of the late Duke. So Ranger and Bowman start attacking this guy and deal some damage. There you go. We can now move you guys all. Let's move closer. We will not risk the lives of our troops. We will all try to kill these guys with range attacks. Nice. And we can still do something. I think you guys lost a lot of troops. Why don't you guys start going into battle against these orcs? Just a few of you should be fine. You have more moves. I think we are done here. Well, that's not true. We have the mages. The mages could do with something here. So let's do some range attacks here. No problem. And the battle is over. We lost 10 people. That was not good. And we gained 200 gold pieces. A character showing has attracted a character who will serve you. So a knight has heard of your exploit. So Corinne, congratulations. You got a new Sir something. So in this case, how we're gonna call this guy? We can call this guy Sir. I don't know. Guys, give me a hand here, Sir. Sir Reynolds. It doesn't seem like... It's okay. You have driven away the orcs and recovered your father's stolen magic. The shield of defense! Now you must face any attack that may come in the future from other foul creatures. The protection of the people of Alada is in your hands. You get 5 points. Your captain reports that an escaped slave has told of a monster that has hundreds of captives. The monster is near the river, in the unexplored area to the southwest. He says the hideous creature is as strong as 50 men. A surge in immigration results in a large increase in population. That's nice to know. So, we have some income, we have some wealth. Not the best. We got an increase in population, an increase in loyalty and morale, and we have some casualties. Now, sadly, we need to recover those casualties, so we might want to conscript some people. We will need 7 in this case. We might want to reinforce our units. We have 5 units here. We need to reinforce this one with 4 units. And we might reinforce the mounted cavalry by 1 unit. And that will be all. So, as a starting episode, I think this is enough. Next time we are going to take the army and try to do some experience or patrolling. Because these guys are pretty new, they do not have a lot of hit points. Our equipment is quite basic. We have a chainmails, nothing fancy. Our cavalry is equipped with leather and light horses, so nothing incredibly great. And yep, we might use the trading because our neighboring regions are Marinium, which is basically a fishing town. It's not much of a threat. She's smaller than Alada. We have Brocada, which is ruled by General Petrov, which is a city, Brocada, based on Viking-ish costumes. So they basically have a self-conscripting military. Volunteers comprise the military. They train every day, but people are doubtful about real combat experience and morale. And then we have Paritan. Paritan is a big city and a very expansionistic one. So they are very harsh conquerors. So they might extend their reach to the neighboring city of Nuralia, to Brocada, and eventually they will have access to Alada and Marinia. On our east, we have the elves. These are the elven woods. The city of Tranavan is somewhere around this area. And there is also rumored to be another city of elves, which is a very unfriendly place. We will not talk about that. To the south, we have the ghost town of Surnova. Surnova is a town that many people tried to claim, but a few actually managed to um, keep being rulers for good reasons. They all end up disappearing and leaving no traces. Sometimes they do leave traces, but they're not pretty. And that's all we know, and that's everything for this episode. So let's save and let's continue playing in the next episode, shall we? Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.